So, does this thing, like, shoot skulls at you? Because that's kind of gross. But kind of awesome when you think about it.
Hey, what's up, my peoples? EmGo here, the freaking geek himself, and today we will be reviewing the Kamen Rider Double Skull Magnum. So here we are, and there it is. And first and foremost, as always, we'll take a quick look at the packaging. So right up front here, you have the Skull Magnum, the Skull Memory. There you have Kamen Rider Skull, just looking all awesome. On the top here, you have Skull with his symbol right there. You got the Skull Memory again. On this side of the box, you have Skull and the Skull Magnum. On the other side of the box, Skull and the Skull Magnum. On the bottom of the box, the same image as the one on top of the box. On the back of the box, you have your obligatory product shots. Does this, that, the other, all that cool stuff. And, of course, you get Side Pac-Man! And that's basically it for the packaging. So moving right along here, we have the Skull Magnum, the weapon of Kamen Rider Skull. And we'll get to the gun itself in a little bit, but first we will look at the included memory. So here is the Skull Memory, done in a nice smoky transparent plastic. It is very much like the Joker Memory, as you can see. Just with a silver tip instead of a gold tip. There you have that. So there you have the S done in the shape of a skull, which looks awesome. I love that. You got the skull right there. You got your activation button, your speaker. On the back, you can see the batteries and all the inner workings and whatnot. Got the LED in there. And if you push the button, you get Skull. And you get the nice bright LED. Nice bright purple LED coming out the bottom. There you have that right there. So you can use this in the double driver. It's meant for a lost driver, but, I mean, the lost driver is basically just a double driver with this part missing, so it's going to do the same thing regardless. So we'll just plug this in. And Heshi! And that's it. And you can see that purple light lighting up that chamber in there. It'll stay for a little bit. There you go. And yeah, that's the whole engine noise. Not a whole lot to it. So there you have that. And we'll remove it. You can plug it into the maximum drive slot. You have the standby noise. And push the button. And you just get a click. Doesn't do anything. So you don't get any final attack noise when you plug this into a maximum drive slot. So there you go. But you can also use this in the axle driver. So we can plug this in. And we can engine. Now you do have to hold the handle the whole time, because if you let it go halfway through, it'll just stop. It'll just stop and do the disengage noise, so that's the little trick with that. You can do the maximum drive. Just hold the, this is the brake, right? This is pull the brake. And turn the handle. And again, you just get the click. That's it. If you let go, it just goes back to the standby noise. So again, you do have to hold this the whole time. So there you go. So again, if you let go at any time, it just goes back to the standby noise. So it works with varying degrees of success in the other belts, but there you go. So now we will bring in the Skull Magnum, which is cast in black plastic with some red and silver. Black, red, and silver automatically means I love it. But we'll get in close here so you can see the details. Nicely molded. Lots of nice detail in here. You got some nice silver paint right here. You do get some transparent plastic so the light can shine through. Got some silver here. One more silver going on here and on the finger guard. You get nice metallic red paint right there with some more of that nice Bandai silver throughout, along the top as well. And again, you have this nice transparent window right there. And on the other side, you can see you got your battery compartments right there. And also painted on the other side, which is always nice. There you go. And the speaker is right back here. And, yeah, pretty much all there is to it. See some of the detail they molded into the handle there. And, yeah, there you go. So it does have the on-off switch right here. Turn it on, and nothing. You get no activation noise whatsoever. You just have to trust that it's on. So once you do that, you can pull the trigger. You get the firing noise. You can rapid fire. Right there. The gun itself, I will say, it's a nice size. Now granted, I have the hands of a little girl, so for me it fits pretty comfortably, but I'm sure in the hands of an adult with actual adult hands, it's probably be a bit too small, but for my tiny little girl hands, it actually fits pretty well. But again, this is meant for a child, so it is what it is. But again, you can fire off your shots. Pew, pew, pew. And there you go. So you have the slot right in here for your Gaia memory. So we'll take Skull. Plug it in. Get the standby noise. You can see that purple LED flashing in there. And when you're ready to go, you just take this section right here and bring it up. And you'll see now the standby noise switched over to the speaker. And then you pull the trigger. Now, unfortunately, you don't get any lights when the final attack noise is happening. And that's because when you flip this section up, it pushes the button on the Gaia memory, which, in essence, just turns it off. So you're not going to get any more lights out of it. Which is unfortunate, but that's the way it works. And now you can see the Skull logo right there through the little window. And, yeah. So the way this works is you can hear that the standby noise switched over from the Gaia memory to the gun itself. Now, if I turn the gun off and do this again, to release the memory, there's a button right here. You just push it, and it pops right out. So we'll plug this back in. Get the standby noise. Get the light going off. Now we'll bring it up. And you see, it shut it off. So basically, this acts as a maximum drive slot. So when you push the button, it just makes a click, and that's all you're going to get out of it. So then, basically what the memory is doing is there's a button, right? I don't know if you can see it. It's right there. The light's kind of reflecting off of it. There it is. There's a button right there that gets pushed by the memory when you flip this entire chamber up. And that's what causes the noise to switch over to the gun itself. So I'll just push it with my finger, and there you go. And you can do the final attack. Right there. And that's all that's doing. So, there you have that. Now you can plug other memories into this if you want. If you want to take Joker and plug it in there, you can. Going up in there. Now, one thing that does happen is you do hear the maximum drive noise coming out of the memory itself. So again, I'm going to turn this off and do that again. So any memory that works normally in a maximum drive slot, when you plug it into this, it will still make the maximum drive noise because, again, it's pushing that button on the memory itself. So if we plug in, you know, what the heck was, that was weird. Push the button. Cyclone, that's what you're supposed to do. I don't know why I made the disengage noise. That was just odd. Anyway, plug that in. Again, it'll make the maximum drive noise. If you turn the gun back on, the noises will just kind of overlap each other. So I don't know how well you heard that, but while the standby noise was going off in the gun, the maximum drive noise was going off in the memory. So things get a little jumbled, but you can plug other memories in there if you want to. Actually, I have not tried Axel. Let's see what Axel does in here. Just let me turn it off. There we go. It just keeps going. Okay. Okay. Stop that. Stop it! Jeez. I didn't know it was going to do that. I never tried it. Okay. Well, that's what the Axel memory does in this. There you have that. So, there you go. Now, of course, if you have trigger. Kuriga! I just like the way he says it. Plug that in. It will make that click noise because it works just like the skull memory. So, if we turn this back on, disengage it and push it back in. So there you go. So you have that. So, of course, this is meant for the Trigger Magnum, which is basically what, I mean, the Skull Magnum is a repaint of the Trigger Magnum, so obviously it works the same way. So, naturally, the Trigger memory will work the same way in the Skull Magnum. So. I didn't mean to push that, but okay. Toriga! Anyway, so there you basically have it. Oh, one more thing is that if you notice here, there are some clips here. You can actually plug in Skull's phone, his Beetle phone, into the back of this. I don't believe it activates any new noises because I don't see anything in there that looks like a button or anything that gives any indication that it activates any other noises in this thing. So I'm thinking it's just for show to just plug something onto it. So there you go. You have the two buttons right here. You have the arrows, push in. And you see that's just a little release button right there. But you can plug on the his phone if you wish. But there you go. So there you have the Skull Magnum. I mean, it's a bit limited noise-wise, but it does what it needs to do, and it's a pretty cool weapon. I opted to buy this instead of the Trigger Magnum because since I already had the Super Best Edition of the Double Driver, I already had a trigger memory, so I didn't want to have two of them. And I like Skull anyway, so I figured, okay, this is the way to get the Skull memory, and I can get the gun. And a cooler version of the gun because it's in a paint scheme that I love. So, for me, it was a win-win situation. So, very, very cool. Now, I did find this at Mandarake. I'll put a link to their site in the description down below. Mandarake is a great site for finding older Kamen Rider, Super Sentai stuff, and anime stuff, and just all kinds of tokusatsu stuff in general. Again, I'll put a link to their description, a link to their site in the description. down below. You can also check out BigBadToyStore.com. They do carry some Kamen Rider items, mostly figure arts at this point, but if you're interested, you can still check out their site, linked in the description down below. And you can check out my Kamen Rider double playlist for any reviews you may have missed, also linked in the description down below, so check that out as well. This thing doesn't stand on its own. You know what? You're just going to lay there. It's going to lay there while I do the outro. Well, anyway, don't forget to check out EmGo's, check out Lori Plan, follow me on Twitter, all of that good stuff down in the description below, and I think that's pretty much all there is to say. So, there is the Kamen Rider Double Skull Magnum, and this is EmGo saying, remember, you don't stop playing because you grow old because you stop playing. Be geek, be proud, boom in your face!